So if you've been on the PC for a while, you've generally heard download a game booster to improve your PC performance while gaming. Generally what a game booster does, and what mostly all of them do, is they eliminate background processes you don't need while playing games. For instance, as I'm sitting here playing a game, okay, I don't want my antivirus running take up, space that I could possibly be using to get more frames in the game, etc., different stuff like that. So it kills all those processes essentially. It turns off Windows services and processes that you don't need, etc., alright? Now I will say for each and every one of these tests, I left NVIDIA Shadow Play on. The NVIDIA processes on due to the fact I needed to record them, alright? Also keep in mind that with Shadow Play, it decreases my performance by about 10%. So if you actually want to figure out what my actual performance would be without recording, go ahead and take my FPS that I'm getting and add 10% onto that, and that's the number that I would overall be getting. So it minuses 10% of my FPS when using Shadow Play. So just keep that in mind. But what I'm going to be testing today is using the Asus Game Booster, and generally how it works is when you're gaming, it's supposed to eliminate services. When you come back from gaming, it's supposed to reactivate them, but Asus has a little bit of an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I will try my best to do a side-by-side comparison here. I will post the game on the left side, which is without game boosting, and the game on the right side, which is with game boosting. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Up first is Batman Arkham Knight. So very quickly before we jump into it, I want to say that none of the video settings or anything were changed. No video settings, resolution, quality, or nothing like that under the settings was changed. The only thing I did to these games is game boost them. That's it. Just use the Asus Game Boost before I started playing them, and that's all I did. So Batman Arkham Knight here, the question we're asking is it giving me for a $1,000 computer, is it giving me more performance than I usually would get? The simple answer for Batman Arkham Knight is a no. It gives me roughly the same performance, a little bit more stable, actually, believe it or not, but no more FPS than I would normally get. Even without recording, it would give me no more normal FPS than I would normally get. So overall, game boosting for Batman Arkham Knight for a $1,000 computer, it's not going to do it. All right. Okay. So it does, however, keep it a little bit more steady in terms of FPS wise. For instance, I usually wound up staying more in the 80s than I did the 70s with the game boost, but it didn't give me any more FPS than I didn't already have. On to the next game. So here we have Star Wars Battlefront. Now in these comparisons, I actually wanted to keep them pretty simple as possible and try to keep it in the general same area that I could. However, the Batman one, the first one, was sort of an exception. I kind of already beat that, couldn't go back to where I could redrive back to the mission and do it again. But in Star Wars Battlefront, I loaded up the same level, tried to do the same things that I did. So in all these comparisons, I tried to do the same thing I did originally, or at least go through the same areas I went through. So in Star Wars Battlefront, in the case of Star Wars Battlefront, we can take a look on the left-hand side and notice that the non-boosted gameplay actually reaches 199 FPS. Meanwhile, the game-boosted gameplay only reaches 197, does not reach 199. The non-boosted gameplay actually stays 199 for a total of about like 5 seconds or so, give or take-ish. I'm not 100% sure on that. But either way, did I get more FPS than I usually would? No. But did it stabilize my FPS more? Yes, a little bit more. Next is Battlefield 1. So I loaded up the campaign right here, and as you guys can see, pretty much same story here. We have non-boosted on the left, boosted on the right-hand side, and overall, right-hand side more stable. Never dropped actually below 100 frames. The left-hand side, which is non-game boosted, actually did drop below 100 frames. However, the non-boosted did give me a higher FPS, but what stayed at a higher FPS overall was the game boosted. So in general, my minimum and my average FPS was higher in game boosted, which is what it has been with every game. So if we look at Batman Arkham Knight, if we look at, Battlefront and Battlefield 1, my overall average FPS has actually been higher and more stable in game boosted. But is it giving me major FPS? Not really, no. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Here we have Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So on the left-hand side, as you guys know, non-game boosted, right-hand side game boosted. And in this game, it's a little bit weird. The non-game boosted actually did better. It performed 70 through 80 FPS, more stable, and the actual game boosted one dropped down more than the non-game boosted one. The game boosted one wound up hitting the 60s, at some point 68s and stuff like that, but its general average FPS was between 68 and through 79 generally. It did hit 83, so it hit an overall higher max FPS, but that's not what we're looking at. We're actually looking at average FPS and what we'd be getting. So non-game boosted was actually 70 through 80, and game boosted was actually a little bit worse, about like 1 to 2 frames loss. Finally, as you guys know, you can't do a PC benchmarking video without Crysis. So Crysis 3, or a game boosting video, PC video in general. Crysis 3 here we have left non-game boosted, right game boosted. And this game actually ran far worse game boosted. I don't know if you can tell by the numbers in the top left-hand corner of each gameplay, but it actually ran far worse game boosted as opposed to normal. Game boosted, I was getting way more drops than I should have. Even while not recording and it was game boosted, I was getting frame drops, whereas not game boosted, I wasn't getting it. So I'm not exactly sure why that was happening there. I don't know why I'd be getting, 10 frames loss as opposed to regularly being steady. But in this general case, in Crysis 3's case, the non-game boosted won overall in my opinion. You guys can make your own opinion based on these games that I have shown you and post in the comments below which one you personally think is better, game boosted or non-game boosted. But if you want to look at it, does game boosting software improve a $1,000 PC? Not really, no. It's not going to. I mean, you have $1,000 into your computer, you got like a, 1060, 1070, 1080, and you're only probably going to get about like a 2 to 3 FPS difference. At maximum I got was about like a 5 FPS difference. But that's just like hitting max. Minimum, it was basically pretty much the same, minus like 1 to 3 FPS. So overall, game boosting isn't really going to do too much if you have a higher end or medium to high end tier, because it depends which one you listed in, because a lot of people list a $1,000 computer as like a beginning, medium to high end tier there. But overall, $1,000 computer, game boosting really isn't going to help you. If you're on a laptop or something like that, it will definitely help you due to the fact that the laptop usually is not made to handle a bunch of processes open at the same time. So it'd be, good to use a game booster then. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below, and I'll see you guys next time.